Typhoon Pepito, also known as Manye internationally, is passing just north of the Polillo Islands. Expected to make landfall here just around noontime into Aurora province, where already looking at conditions picking up there. A storm surge is likely here in Aurora, just around the Belair. Casiguran also going to be seeing kind of the outer fringes of this, but it really is that inner core, that inner eye wall that we are concerned about. I'm meteorologist Robert Spetta. Let's break down this storm system as it tracks from the east off here towards the west, coming on shore as we look ahead through our day here on Sunday, and then traversing across Luzon, exiting by Sunday night, heading into Monday. So thankfully, it's moving towards the northwest at about 20 kilometers per hour. It's not lingering by any means. So let's break this down. Right now, though, kind of went through an eye wall replacement cycle, that being the inner eye wall falling apart and kind of giving way to the outer eye wall. I see that here on microwave imagery. As it passed over Catanduanes 2, we had a little bit of friction, so the eye even collapsed a little bit. It wobbled towards the west due to friction, and then you see the eye wall replacement cycle taking place right there as that inner eye wall kind of gave way to the outer one. Point is, it did go through that caused it to weaken just a little bit here, but it's still a strong storm. Pepito's not weak by any means. It may feel weaker than previous storms if you are in places like Manila, where we're not going to see, the core of the storm there, but it is still packing a pretty decent punch in that center of circulation, in that inner core, that inner eye wall, where this is going to be coming on shore, winds 200 kilometers per hour or higher. Passing over just towards Pangasinan, I think the left side of the storm could see a bit of a surge there. La Union's going to be impacted with that chance of some typhoon strength winds, at least gusts to 100, 120. But thankfully by that time, the mountains are going to rip it apart as it moves off there towards the west. But Signal Force 5 in place as of recording this. You might see them increased into Aurora province up to 5, but they're at 4 to 5, whatever. Both of them bad news bears. Storm surge warning in place, so all along the east coast, 3 to 5 meters. Pangasinan also going to be looking at about 3 to 5 meters due to that northerly wind. Low-lying areas could be seeing that increase in the surge as it kicks on by. So those are kind of the two threats for storm surge, with heavy rainfall being the other big issue into central Luzon as this tracks overhead. Remember, the ground's already saturated. We've had 5 consecutive typhoons. Another one is definitely going to increase that rainfall, and it's got to go either up towards the Cagayan Valley, down towards Manila, maybe off towards the east here. But, this is kind of the watershed region for all of these different spots. So when you have this coming over already saturated watershed areas, it is going to increase that threat of flooding. So that's still going to be the big issue here. So I'll go back to stress. The damaging winds are going to be an issue, of course, along that coastal areas, but I think the rainfall threat is going to be a big topic as we head into Monday. After this passes by here on Sunday, Monday morning, a lot of the rainfall is going to it's going to all get squeezed out here, and of course that water's got to go somewhere. Actually, see, this graphic's great. It shows the moisture in the atmosphere. See how prior to it coming on shore, it's this big red blob, a lot of moisture. It's gone. That's because the mountains squeezed it out, and just basically bringing 300 to 400 millimeters along the coast. Areas towards the west, I think on the west coast, 50 to 100 could be possible as this kicks on by. Broader picture, cold surge is going to come in and weaken it out at least by Monday into Tuesday. With that, whole bunch of big fat waves coming in too, which means drier air as well, and thus weakening out our storm system, which is also good news. We could be looking at not only weaken out their storm, but dry air weaken out any future storms, meaning that we could have a period of time with some drier, nicer weather. But for Manila today, anywhere south of Tarlac City, we're going to be looking at tropical storm tops from everything I've seen. Rain being a big issue. Still, tropical storm strength winds possible. But AM rain on Monday, then things do start to improve. Tuesday, Wednesday, sunshine's actually going to return just a bit out here across the Philippines. But for today, here on our Sunday, it really is central Luzon kind of getting the worst of the impacts, especially on the east coast. The Sierra Madres, though, really going to weaken this out. Remember, it's weakening it out after it passed over Catanduanes, which these images out of there just showing some of the damage. All right, so as always, I always say I'm not an official source for information. Bagas is doing a fantastic job keeping you posted on these updates, so make sure you check in with them. That's my it covers. They cover everything from storm surge to rainfall. They're doing a great job. So I don't want to hear in the comments section that better than Megasa. I think they're doing fantastic. I just try to relay their information and bring it on different platforms. The more we get out there, the more people who are aware to the good and the bad of the storm, where you're going to get hit and where you're not going to get hit, the better. So people are not mistaken by this and confused. And I mean, the big storms that cause a lot of deaths, like Christine, with the heavy rainfall, I think a lot of people were confused on the fact that it was flooding. That was going to be the big issue, not a full-on typhoon. So they had a tropical storm, and a lot of people were just like, what's happening? High people didn't understand what a storm surge was when we were talking about 7-8 meter high storm surge. They didn't quite get that. So it's all about communication, getting that information out there, and that's our goal here with these updates. So as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for everybody who partook in the live stream chat we had going on with me and my wife. She actually chimed in here too. This is my last update prior to landfall. I'll have another one hopefully here by Sunday night. Signing off. Make sure you follow Earth Uncut TV. He's going to be live streaming on site in Bel Air throughout this storm system. So if you want more information on what's going on the ground, he will be there live streaming this storm. So check in for that. All right. As always, thanks for watching and stay safe out there, friends. Bye.